Lunalight is top tier in my hands. Let's go.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Lunalight versus Lunalight. A lot of you are struggling with, as our full loss gets freaking negated, ain't no way, against the double towers. What are the double towers? The Liger Dancer, unaffected by card effects except Lunalight cards. Everyone agrees that if you summon two of them, you automatically win. It is game over. So let's speed on through this, where they inevitably summon the auto win. One Liger could beat most decks, and then for the few decks that could deal with one Liger, you summon a second one, now you have zero freaking outs. That could be a problem. And with how powerful Lancia is against Malice, how powerful Droll is against Mitsurugi, it's almost like Konami is designing backwards. They're like, well, our deck gets hit by Droll, and because of that, let's make it so immensely powerful because of the existence of Droll, not understanding that they're further necessitating the use of Droll by doing so, by trying to, if you just let these decks naturally have their silver bullets, if the deck just loses to Imperm, let it lose to Imperm. If it loses to Nibiru, let it lose to Nibiru. If it loses to Droll, let it lose to Droll. When you brute force beyond the silver bullet, you now turn the silver bullets into required side deck cards to even have a freaking chance, which I think is not good card design. What is good here? Well, they are fully unaffected, which means we absolutely scoop, right? Well, of course not. Let's activate the Chick, send for the deck the Gold Leo, as we're now going to heavy polymerization. He's going to impulse, negate our main play to summon our own Lunalight Liger Dancer. Ain't no way. We're going to follow up with Lunalight Fusion, which allows us to use the extra deck. Again, negate the Lunalight Fusion play. We are super screwed. And he still has his double Raigeki. Negated our fusion, Raigeki, at least 4 forms of disruption. Let's Perfume, reborn out the Gold Leo here. Gold Leo on summon, triggering to search our deck. Now, the Chick has not been special summoned. This is not like a Murakumo field wipe. It only wipes out the special summon monsters. I'm gonna grab the Black Sheep, come forth, grabbing our polymerization. Now, he's gonna try to make us whiff our third fusion spell. By wiping away the Gold Leo, there's a chance that we don't have a Lunalight in the hand, and then we scoop it up from here. So I think it was a good attempt to have me scoop on this activation. But fret not, come forth and fuse into our Perfume Dancer. Perfume Dancer is going to be searching our deck for another Lunalight Perfume, which is not a hard once per turn activation. Neither effect of it, the effect to search, the effect to reborn, all activatable more than once. And this is a very good card to play through an impermanence. Let's Perfume, further reborn the Chick onto the field. Now, Chick is not a quick effect, and he's gonna wipe away our field. What the freaking hail? So we're gonna have to do the most desperate play, discard the polymerization to search for one card, double Raigeki'd, impulsed, and also Hound negated us. What can we do? A single Wolf and nothing else is needed. We're gonna use the Wolf to fuse with the graveyard, fusing the grave into what? That's it? Yeah, I couldn't get the Liger Dancer set up here. There's no Leo in grave. He definitively stopped me from summoning my own Liger, but that's okay. We're now gonna use the Perfume Dancer to return back the Wolf to then play it back onto the field so that we have 2 bodies, and then we're gonna activate the ultimate effect, Perfume Dancer in grave. What does this do against the unaffected Liger Dancers? It affects them. Reduced to 300 attack. Ain't no way. This is destroyable by battle. It is affected by Lunalight cards. So in the mirror match, you could play Ultimate Slayer to dump a Perfume Dancer from your extra deck to the grave in any deck you want, and then have the good usage of the Ultimate Slayer against multiple other decks. And then if they summon their Lunalights in attack position, you could also make this play. Wipe them away. You could think of any other idea on how you'd want to get your own Perfume Dancer and any other deck into the grave. Maybe a Nadir Servant type deck could also make some cool plays like that. I'm gonna Little Knight banish away the Wolf so we could not further fuse in addition to that. Now, I don't know of anyone that plays more than 2 Liger Dancers, and there's some confusion on how this works. If a card says must first be fusion summoned, then it must first be fusion summoned, then you could reborn it from the graveyard through your other effects. But this simply says must be fusion summoned, not must first be, thus it could not be special summoned through other methods unless they say ignore the summoning conditions. Off the top of the deck, Tanky, because we are a boss, and that is enough to win it against the auto-win double Raigeki, Impulse, and a Hound. We played through it easily. All right, let's Fool lost in the draw phase. Even though I said previously in my Sky Striker video that I take these cards out, this was not for highlights. I was actually just play testing this on the ladder to its fullest capability. I was not in highlight mode. Millennium Onk. What the Onk, mate? Now, this is going to be quite an annoyance. The Senjin on the field could not be destroyed by monster effects. We can't Raigeki that. Also, even this unstoppable Exodia could not be destroyed by opponent's card effects. And this actually outs the Liger. So if we can't destroy it, we then try to attack it, but it's going to be at 8,000 attack. This is possibly a really good way to just beat Lunalights. Or is it? He's going to send to the back row the Fires of Rage, which could also destroy all cards we control. How do we play through something that can't be destroyed by card effect and is going to become 8,000 attack? Why aren't more people playing this? Foolish Burial, send the Hound from the deck to the graveyard, trigger the Hound to summon from the deck into the gold Leo. Leo is going to be searching our deck for our normal summon Chick. We'll discard another card here. As we now Masquerade. He's going to negate the Masquerade. I already sent a Hound from the deck to the graveyard. This is just an additional Foolish Burial. Now, the other part of the effect would add back Apolymerization. He's now going to chain Fires of Rage. He could not help himself. So I am, in fact, trying to bait this card. I want him to activate it early so I can make my other plays. I don't want to commit with a Chick. I want him to wipe the field first, then whip out my Chick. Chick will send a Martin. Martin is going to return the Chick back to the hand. We're now going to Lunalight Fusion. I could use the extra deck if I want, since they have an Exodia on the field. Perfume Dancer on someone's going to be searching for a Perfume, and the Chick's going to be reborn back in the field through the effect of the Perfume Dancer. That is going to be ideal. But he's going to then Super Poly my freaking field. What the heck is this nonsense? Everything is against us. Dragostapalia will further negate a monster we have on the field. Now, the Chick's effect is the cost that we care about, but we're going to be discarding the Chick with the Perfume as we then use the Perfume to reborn the Chick back onto the field. Now, I'm hoping that he tries to negate this. He does. So it's simply negating the effect of becoming the fusion material for a fusion summon, but the cost is still to send. Send the Leo Dancer by cost. Got him. But we still haven't dealt with the issue here. This is going to become 8,000 attack. How do we stop that? Let's fuse 8 up, come forth into Liger, Dancer. Now, Chick is the out. You up, mate. By making sure you banish the Chick, this turn your opponent cannot activate cards during the battle phase, and this only becomes 8,000 attack during the battle phase. There's a lot of secret effects you have to remember about. Now, Heart of the Blue Eyes is trying to send my Liger Dancer to the graveyard. I guess he did not read my cards. It's expected from a Millennium player. Chick, no activate for you. We're going to send the Saber Dancer, wipe out the monster, attack for 38, wipe this out, mate. And now with an unaffected Liger Dancer, he could still go up to 4,200. So even if he's able to summon another unstoppable Exodia, he could simply attack over the Liger, and then we'll lose it. So let's see if he's able to do that. He summons the head. Well, we have the Silver Hound. Silver Hound, negate the Ankh mate. Now, what if he does get to summon the Exodia? We do have the Saber Dancer in graveyard ready. This will boost up another fusion monster to plus 3,000 attack, just not the turn it sent to the graveyard. So you're not able to preempt this into the grave, scoops it up like a fool. Second against Ryzeal? Ryzeal Mitsurugi, that is. So let's speed on through his plays. What are all the disruptions he has? Are the back row cards public knowledge? I didn't even check what they were. He's got a negate, triple pop may, or one of them being a negate, or the back row card can replenish and exceeds material to then give that negate. He can negate a spell. So he's got everything he wants and needs. We are in big trouble. How do we play through this? Well, begin. Fractal. Send for the deck the Hound. Hound is going to trigger to summon from the deck, and we're against a Maxx freaking C. Ain't no freaking way. How's this fair? Had there been a Mulcharmy, this would not be a problem. You have the Gold Leo. Now, this is where I'm learning that, hey, he's not liberally just popping whatever he wants the detonator. He's going to be holding the detonator for our continuous spells or our pendulums. Okay, noted. We're going to grab a Martin, discard it. He actually is now going to be popping the Leo because I guess he thought I was going to use the Martin effect to return back, and he thought that was stopping it. No, I'm just triggering the effect to search my deck, dummy. Let's grab the Lunalight Fusion. Now, this is great if they have an extra deck monster on the field. And this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that he negates this because the heavy polymerization is better, much better. Please negate. Yes. And now we get heavy polymerization. Should be able to safely. He should have no way to stop this. Heavy polymerization per monster on the field. That's how many we could use in the extra deck. We have to at least use 3 or more monsters for this fusion summon. So we are going to also lose life points, 28 and 3,500 mates. Burn for 6,300 life as we now activate to attempt to wipe out their field, but the Ryziel detonator protects from destruction. Protect, or I thought he was protecting. He's actually trying to pop me. I guess the Ryziel player can't read. I'm unaffected. Nice try. No way. He tried to pop the Liger Dancer. I was unaffected. I forgot that this duel happened. I did not know this was going to happen. And then he tried to use the Ryziel Cross to negate the unaffected Liger Dancer mate, which guess what? It detached the final material. So maybe he thought it was asking, would you like to protect your field? And he clicked yes. And he's like, oh, wait, no, it's the cross asking if I want to negate, not if I want to protect my field mate. And then it's too late to protect because he has 0 materials after that. Damn. Why game bug? He had everything. He had freaking everything. Now, heavy poly is not good going first, all right? It's pretty damn bad. You can't go into a perfume dance with this. You have to use 3 or more monsters, so it's not like a regular polymerization. And we're under Maxx C. What do you do under Maxx C? You don't care. So if you hate Maxx C, this is the deck to play if you want to brute force it and then laugh at your opponent. Let's do it. Masquerade is going to be dumping from the deck. The Hound will trigger to summon from the deck into the Gold Leo. Gold Leo searching for the Wolf, discarding an extra Fool Loss. We don't need that. Normal the Chick. Otherwise, I would have searched for a Chick here. Gold Leo is going to add back the Black Sheep after sending from the deck to the grave. We're now going to be searching for our regular polymerization play. Let's polymerize it up. All under Maxx C with no Fs given. Perfume on some. We're going to chain link block a potential Ash Blossom, adding back the polymerization engrave. As we now further add a perfume, reborn the Chick back in the field, send from the extra deck a Leo Dancer, return back the Chick, summon back the Chick. Look how many draws, 8 cards so far in his hand, as we now go into a Cross Sheep. We're now going to Lunalight Wolf, activate, fuse into our first copy of Liger Dancer. Why do I say first? Because I think we're going to go into another one, right? Let's reborn the Chick back in the field. Chick is going to send from the deck a Martin. Martin's going to return back the Wolf, reborn onto the field, activate the Wolf to now Wolf fuse again. I could have performed an Exceed summon, but I don't want to push my luck here. If I could minimally, as least amount of draws as possible, just go into the second Liger Dancer, then we're good. Well done. Great. Sugoi. Double Liger Dancer against 14 cards in the hand. What are they going to do? Ooh, it is a Sky Striker deck. Upstart the Goblin again, reinforce the army, grabbing the Ray. Now, they could actually get their Kagari to be big enough to attack over a Liger Dancer. They could plus 1,000 with the linkage and then have enough spells engraved where it could be 3,800 attack or higher. In fact, I think he may do that in this game. Come forth, Sky Striker A0 searching for an engage searching for a Hamp. You see, why does he play this? He plays this because of my deck. He got his preferred matchup. He got to max, he draws many cards as he want, and he got to have his Kaiju play. He feels great, doesn't he? Now, engage is going to be searching. So, you know, the DK, should I summon just one Liger under Maxx C? Well, as you can see, no. People are putting in the one Herald of the Abyss, the one Kaiju, so you get that second one out, and then they're done. Now, what's great about the Hamp is it can only be special summoned once per turn this way. Great for me, not for them. Now, this is at 3,100, not enough. With 8 spells in the graveyard, it's going to be enough to take out the Liger Dancer. Can he get 8 more spells in grave? Easily, he should be able to do so. He's going to get 1 spell. He's going to be able to then send that to the graveyard. He's going to Widow Anchor, double Widow Anchor. Look at that. 3,300. He's almost there. I believe in you. Off the top of the deck, he's going to add the Pillar of the Future as he further Foolish Barrel Goods. That's 2 more spells in the graveyard. 3,500. I'm just letting him do it. All right, have fun, buddy. Forbidden Droplet. 36. He's almost there. Lemnis Gate. What are you doing? You're returning spells back in the deck. You were so close. Now you got to start over. What the? I'm letting you do what you want. Widow Anchor to the hand here. 35, 36. 2 more spells. We're going to activate the shark. There you go. You did it. Great. You kaiju'd and you boost up your Kagari. Your absolute ideal scenario against Luna Lights, and you got it. You could not have it any better. Now, wipe the field. Nice try. Okay. Well, all that was for nothing. Yes, a lot of people are upset that this also has the Raigeki effect. Kind of messed up, right? Was there any way for Kagari to be protected from destruction? Isn't there a card that makes them unaffected, right? It's like Eagle. You need Eagle. Kaiju and Eagle. But if you don't get to Maxi against a Lunalight, are you going to have enough spells engraved to boost up Kagari to 38 while making it unaffected mate, right? The Eagle booster would be the way. Maxi in response, mate. We obviously know what's going to happen here. I'm going to take the Maxi challenge again. We do not care. But we're actually having an issue here. Your goal could be this. You don't have to win in one turn. You hamp one of the Liger Dancers, which is the Kaiju, and then you just survive. Because if you survive, what you're going to do is you're going to then hamp them again, because then the hard once per turn restriction will be gone. So I have to win this duel. And I easily do. There you go. Double attack for game. Good try. I think I have another Max Seed challenge for you. Do I get Max Seed? I mean, I have an Ash Blossom here. How could I get Max Seed? If he Fuas and then he Max Seeds, I think that's what happens. Ash is my effect of the Houndmate to summon from the deck. We're going to Masquerade, send from the deck the Chick. We're then going to use Perfume to reborn it back. Then we get hit with the Max Seed. I think I choose to not negate this. Wait, I do. What happened? I guess he Fool losses me. Oh, he negates my Ash. That's how he does it. I'm like, I could not figure out how this Maxi resolves. And there you go. What are we going to do? We're going to take the Maxi challenge. Of course we will. Let's speed this up. Reborn the Chick onto the field, send from the deck the Tiger. We're going to use the Leo to add the Tiger engraved back to the hand here. We already have the Black Sheep. Black Sheep searching our deck for the Polymerization. With the Lunalight Tiger, we're going to be reborning back in the field the Black Sheep. Let's polymerize it into a full loss. Maxi and full loss in one duel. Perfume Dancer, draw 2 cards for that. Chainlink Block and Ash Blossom potentially, even though I think he already used one, right? Yes, he did. As we're going to add the Hound and the Polymerization. As we're going to further grab a Perfume from the deck. Let's Perfume the Chick back onto the field. Send from the deck or extra deck. We now have a Leo Dancer in the grave. Return the Chick back, resummon, send a second Leo Dancer from the extra deck to the grave. This gives us resilience against a Bestial. If you fear that they have a Bestial, they now can't stop you from summoning your Liger Dancer, as you're going to have more than one Leo when they try to banish. We have the Cross Sheep. We're going to use the Wolf. Fuse with the graveyard into the Liger Dancer number 1. Cross Sheep's going to trigger, and he's going to negate and destroy the Cross Sheep mates. Ain't no freaking way. We don't get to reborn now. Are we now thwarted on summoning another Liger Dancer? Did we get completely screwed up or what? He's going to Gem Knight Neprum add. So we have a Gem Knight Melodious deck. We're going to be using the effect of the Perfume to search our deck for another Chick. We are going to Pendulum Summon the Chick onto the field, send a Martin. Martin is now going to return the Wolf back to the hand, reborn back onto the field, as he's now going to be triggering the Songstress. What the heck is this mad lad doing? Refrain further searching the deck. He's now going to have a ton of cards in his hand. We're still going to be playing. Let's further go into a Little Knight. And now, we are going to activate the Wolf. Wolf fuse up into our second copy. We have Little Knight, Liger Dancer, Masquerade's going to trigger to add back the Polymerization. I don't have a Hound in the graveyard. I don't have a spell to negate because we had to use all of our cards just to get this on the field. Now we have the Panther Dancer to wipe away the field. And just like that, the downside of Full Loss is triggering. He can only be +6 cards in addition to our field. Now, can he break this field? Maybe. Asanato's going to send from the deck to come forth and go into the Bacha. Botch is going to trigger to special summon a Melodious from the deck. He's also going to chain link block with the Reframe. I'm going to Little Knight banish the Botcha because it has the graveyard effect. If this card's sent to the graveyard, target a Melodious in grave to then special summon it. So may as well just get it out of here. Do not allow them to link it off or fuse with it in some way. Gonna set up the Reframe, summon from the deck the Shapina, which could add back a Fairy Engraved to the hand. He's not committed to a normal summon yet, as he's now going to couplet trigger, reborn the Reframe. Reframe is gonna further search the deck for another Soprano. He's now gonna activate Brilliant Rose. I'm not familiar with this type of deck. Gem Knight and Melodious in one. What the heck are you cooking? I'm just allowing him to make as much as he wants. He's now gonna go into the Itoli. As he further puts up his Pendulum Scales, he's now going to turn these two into Protector of the Agent's Moon. Sure. Send from the deck a Neptune. So this deck is getting crazier the more he plays. Freaking Pendulum Summon. Oh my Jesus. And he's got the Agents in the deck, Melodious, Soprano, and Lacrima Crimson Tear. Send from the... This is where I'm actually getting worried. I'm like, wait, he could maybe beat us. But how? I think with the Fiendsmith engine, he may be able to make his monster big enough to attack over a Liger Dancer, so we have to be careful of that. He's now going to banish cards from both players' graveyard, trigger the Neptune, grab the Sanctuary in the sky, into the Fiendsmith sequence. He now has the Sanctuary, he's got the Rose. Let's further go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. I panic. I'm like, oh, what if he Goddesses and then could get a big enough monster like, this should be enough to just wipe their field, right? Am I afforded at least one Raigeki? I'm just gonna Raigeki once. If he's playing that, even though, you know, obviously that's being played with Fiendsmith, it just reminds me that Goddess is a card. So please don't Goddess me. He's gonna chain, jump off the field to come back during the end phase. Let's wipe out the sequence and the Moon. He's now gonna be using the Crystal Rose. And for all of you to know that I did exactly what he wanted me to do. So we do have one more Raigeki after this, but we did get rid of the sequence, so maybe he's not going to be able to fuse it up. Requiem and the other, and he's got the sequence. Because he returned it back with the Engraver, so that's something you got to be careful about. If you wipe this out early, thinking you're stopping it, and they have not used their Engraver yet, they just return it back. Now they have Desiree. Desiree is here, now I'm like freaking out, because this is how they get super boosted. That's a problem. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the total link rating of all link monsters equipped. This could easily out a Liger Dancer. Now, the Desiree is going to be sending a card from the field to the graveyard, getting rid of the Wolf as he now reborns. How big is he on this? He's already big enough. We already have to have at least one Raigeki to wipe this out. So thankfully, that is good enough. So don't be too crazy with your Raigekis. You over Raigeki it up, they may, through Fiendsmith, get a big enough monster to then simply attack over. Now, for the deck list, I was using multiple different decks. I also changed up the decks, try to, you know, push for highlights and stuff. So I'm going to tell you what I agree or disagree based off of the tier list or a top decks deck here. On the tier list, we'll see that Luna Light is here. I do think it's going to get bumped up to tier 2 very shortly with more community events. Luna Light it up. I'm going to click on the tournament only filter because there have been enough tournaments to turn this on. Boom. Now, this is a good highlight on how you should be playing the deck. Why is Nyarla being played? Nyarla, I think, has been good under the effect of Droll and Lockbird. There's been some plays where I wanted to reborn from the grave and then detach by card effect so that they get their effects. I remember this came up at least once, but it's essentially a Time Thief Redoer similarly to a tier limit deck. Do you want to play heavy poly? It sucks going first. It's not going to do much, but if you survive even after going first, you know, of course, if you have a Liger Dancer, you're probably just going to win off of that. But for the duels where you do go second, this will straight up win. This skips all the other steps and nonsense where their hand traps or turn 1 disruption could stop you from summoning your Liger Dancer, and this will brute force it out. As long as you don't have an impulse or you could bait out the impulse with another card, this is simply an easy I win card. One card Liger, you definitively win. Should you play Impulse? I think if you want to win the mirror match, this could be a really good card to stop their most opportune special summons. And then, you know, also Impulse is a very powerful hand trap. I do agree with playing this. I think it's good. But if you don't want to craft this, if you don't want to play this, Impermanence could be a good replacement. Or for this deck, because this is essentially a first turn kill deck, you could forego all the normal deck building rules, which is to have a lot of non-engine hand traps and good techs like Triple Tactics Talent, and you could instead overload on the engine, more gas, because you can brute force through Maxx season full losses, and with 20 plus cards in their hand, as long as you have 2 Ligers on the field, you instantly win. Where otherwise, a normal deck, you get Maxx or full lost, you don't want too many of the in-engine cards in your hand. You want to have more hand traps. Okay, they Maxx'd me. Who cares? I have a Nibiru, I have an Impulse, and I have a Droll and Lockbird. I could safely end my turn, but you don't really want to do that with this deck. You want to brute force it because this deck is nuts. I do think Liger Dancer in the future, because we're in a best of 1 format, will probably go to 1, because this is simply too good. You summon 2, most decks are not going to out it. Oh, my deck could do this, activate to search this. Well, are you able to play through double Raigeki and a most opportune, the best possible spell negate? That's going to be a problem, mate, especially with the Silver Hound. So even if you play the Spirit card that searches for a Lava Golem, what if they save this card for that play? It's pretty much only going to work against a Lunalight player that doesn't know better. Now, let's click on a deck list or two. We have a second place, a top 4, a top 4. So we'll look at these deck lists here. Do I disagree or agree with anything? I think Fractal's better than Tenki. That's what I'll say. And that is because of Droll and Lockbird. With 1 Fractal, you can play through a Droll and Lockbird. With Tenki, you can't really play through a Droll. With 1 Tenki against Droll, you can make a Baguska. Baguska is banned, so that's obviously not a good play. Otherwise, the Tenki would be better. But, you know, this is a good-looking deck list. And let's see another one. 1 Fractal, 3 Tenki, Luna Light, the Torino Seminole, looking good. Impulse in the main deck. Let's see another one. We'll be back soon. You what, mate? There we go. Bori, heavy polymerization, triple Impulse. Across the board, they are loving Impulse. And how many of them are playing heavy polymerization? Not playing it, but they are playing side deck. He's side decking the heavy polymerization. So maybe this is not the best idea to just look at the main deck. You want to take in the context of the side deck in addition to when building your best of 1. As we can see, both of the best of 1 decks that don't have a side deck, they are main decking the heavy polymerization. So that extra context is important to note. So there you go. If you were to ask me, should you play this? I think you should. Heavy poly is great. And there you go. Luna, light it up. Summon your Liger Dancers for game. Brute force through Maxx season full loss. We absolutely do not care about them, because once you have 2, how are you going to out it? How? Please tell me how. Because if you perfect your Raigekis and your spell negate, even a deck that has the out no longer has the out. Let's go.